Oh, you forgave, and soon both of us learned to trust, not run away.
It was no time to play.
We build it up and
Build it up.
and build it up, and now it's solid.
Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, as promised, we got a couple of questions to ask. The first question we're going to ask, so you received a 98 series number or an EIN number, and you've been told you can set up a bank account. And the question is that the limit of what you can do? And how do you set up the bank account? What are the requirements? Well, we realize that many of you simply do not know what you received and the value of what you received. So let me let you know, 98 series, those are all of the 98 series numbers that have been acquired for people. Or let's just say, just call it an EIN number. Don't call it a 98 series, because the 98 series is kind of misleading. Okay? The corporation is foreign, just set up foreign, but we're not focused on the foreign part. We're focused on the corporation. See, we were suggesting to people that they take this corporation and that they start operating their corporation like anyone else would operate their corporation. They do everything through the corporation, all their business, including their personal business. What do I mean by personal business? Ladies and gentlemen, your personal business, you have the right to sit up there and write off everything that is business related, and also your household goods and household consumer goods and personal goods. Why? Because the law permits it. That law is the Uniform Commercial Code, Article 9, Section 102 and 109. What I suggested to someone yesterday, I'm going to suggest to you all today. Look up New Hampshire House Bill 1778. Now, this bill did not pass. This bill did not become law in New Hampshire. But as always, we're not focused on whether the bill became law. We're focused on the facts that are listed in the bill. So you're going to focus on the general purpose. So let's do something. We're going to talk about sampletemplates.com. That's necessary for what we're going to do. What we're going to go to right now is the New Hampshire House Bill. So I'm going to say NH Bill 1778. Okay, so when I type in New Hampshire Bill 1778, that's all I'm going to get is Cornell Law and a bunch of the places talking about New Hampshire House Bill, and a lot of other people talking about it. Why? Because this bill is the Right to Travel Bill. That's the name of the bill, the Right to Travel Law in New Hampshire. Now, there is a right to travel law. This was an amendment to that bill. What I want you all to focus on is what I'm about to show you. I'm going to go here because this is New Hampshire's, one of their other official websites. Official website. We're going to go here. Now remember, this is the way the bill was introduced in 2017. What I'm looking for, and I haven't been to this site. I'm looking, no, I can't go here because this is gonna, let's see. Yeah, we'll go here to the HTML format. And we're going to make it a little bit larger so that you all can see. I just have to wait for it to adjust. This is so that it fits within the screen so that you can see it. We're going to bring it up, probably go just a little bit larger. Now, let's go ahead and take care of that. And give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to help all of you to understand is there are a lot of you who don't appreciate the playing of music during a video. And let me say that there's an apology being given to you for that, because many of you came to this particular location while videos were being played with music in the background. We're letting you know that that's the way things are done here. Now, if it's something that you don't appreciate, we apologize in advance for your palate not being satisfied. But we're going to tell you that it is a teaching technique. It has been very effective. I will be explaining it shortly, how effective it has been. This is the statement and purpose. This is what we want you to focus on. This is the Supreme Court and the General Congress for the state of New Hampshire. You can read the bill and see that this is their opinion, not some citizen's opinion. Statement and purpose: the General Court, meaning all of Congress, finds that the authority of the Department of Safety, the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, is limited only to commercial users, those who are making a profit, those who are engaged in business. Truck drivers, chauffeurs, Uber, Lyft, those are commercial vehicles. Limousine drivers, bus drivers, taxi cabs, those are commercial drivers. Those are the ones who are required to have licenses. The regular citizen is not required to have a license to travel upon the highways in America, which is why New Hampshire put this law. Now, let me explain. It says of the public ways, and that the corporate state officials, the police, the sheriff, the state police, by their silence, the Congress, the legislature, the courts, the governor, have failed to fully inform the sovereign people, the people who create the state, of this state. And sovereign, whenever you hear the word sovereign people, this means the common community as a whole, not the single person. Sovereign people. That's why it's a phrase. This is a legal term. We'll talk more about that in the future. Of the state, that an automobile has been confirmed by Chief Justice Grimes in this case right here. And do yourself a favor, this case right here, I think the guy's name is Darian, but I think you will enjoy this case by going over this, dealing with an automobile, that it was private property defined by current law. Now, this is the revised statutes of New Hampshire, but we want you to focus on this one right here. This is UCC 9, Section 109, as household goods, consumer goods, not for commercial use or for profit or for gain. Okay, your corporation, you are allowed to have a corporation. You are allowed to earn a living. You are allowed to engage in business. You are allowed to engage in any other enterprise any other person is allowed to engage in. However, the moment the business becomes for profit, then you can be regulated by Congress. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to tell you, if you receive the corporation, at first we were providing this service for people, but we are no longer providing this service because, let's just do this. We're looking for IRS 8832. Okay. At first we were providing, now you see it said fax number, so you can look up the fax number and fax it in once you fill it out. There are videos on YouTube telling you how to fill it out, showing you, demonstrating to you how it should be filled out. You have to make that determination on your own. The 8832 is what classifies you as, what do you call it, nonprofit. So you will, if you choose, fill out this form, send it into the IRS, and then you will follow the tax code from that point on. Now, again, let me explain. If you want to hire an accountant, they will take care of this for you. But then you do everything through the corporation. You write everything off through the corporation. Now, is this legal? Well, let me see. We've shown you this right here. Give me one more second. Sorry, I gotta wait for my search bar. I could type it up here. Okay, let's do it here. We'll do topic 453. Okay, we're gonna go bad debt deduction. Can you write it off as a bad debt? Remember, all debt is a tax event. For one party or another, all debt is a tax event. Notice what they say. They actually quote 453. For a bad debt, you must show that there was an intention at the time that the transaction to make it a loan and not a gift. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the only bad debt you can have. This deals with anything, understanding that it may not be unpaid. This is anything that you had a right to that you did not get paid for. There are so many different things that you have a right to receive payment for and that you're not being paid for. There are so many things that you have a right to do that you are not receiving that right to do that. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the IRS section of the IRS bad debt. Now, this site right here, I'm going to click on. Now, I'm not going to advise you guys to go here. I'm going to advise you guys to go to the official site of the IRS because this is their topic. This is not some other company's topic, but I could see a lot of companies wanting to talk about this. I've never been to this site. This site and I have never seen each other. Uncle Fed's tax board. So let's see what they have to say. Now, I think they're quoting the IRS directly. I think this is an actual quote. Well, see, the thing about what I'm going to tell you and everyone else, if you got a quote from somebody, your job is to go to the source. Your job is not to go to someone else. I thought that they might be explaining something, and yeah, they didn't explain anything. So what they did is, this is just a publication. This has been since 2008. Why 2008? Because in 2008, the accrual method became the official method used in the United States. Especially, pay attention, when they imploded the economy by the so-called financial crisis. That's when the accrual method became official for banks and other companies to use. That's why businesses are doing so well now, because it is subject to capital loss limitations. They get to write off their losses. See, non-business bad debt is reported as a short-term capital loss. We don't do non-business bad debts where I come from. Everything is done through the business, so it's always a business bad debt. I'm hoping now you understand why we do it as business bad debt. But this is just a direct quote from the IRS. That's all this is. And UncleFed.com. I don't know who's publishing this, but it appears to be that they have some type of permission to be publishing it, or they're doing it as a public service. So let's go here, if you all do not mind. Form number 8832, as I said, is for your business. If you want to list it as nonprofit, you do not have to be, pay attention, what is that corporation? 501c3. You do not have to be a 501c3 corporation to be nonprofit. You do not have to be a 501c3 to be a nonprofit organization. Ladies and gentlemen, by writing off your business expenses, by writing off your tax liabilities, then you will literally not make a profit. So you will always be non-profit if you were to understand the tax laws. We are not here to explain the tax laws to you. Sorry. We're just explaining the possibilities. See, we provided it for you. We didn't take the obligation to say we're going to explain everything and we're going to walk you through it. You didn't pay us for that. That's why most people who get 98 series numbers are paying $1,500 and above for that, for somebody to walk them through and do the paperwork and do all of the forms. The one form that you will find that they're going to ask you for is a 1040. Why? Because they're listing you as a sole proprietorship, or 1041, sorry. And that they're going to tell you is due pretty quickly, within the next couple of months. Not true. For corporations, you can go back at least 3-4 years before you are having to do taxes. Yes, there will be penalties, but if you do your taxes correctly and you write off and you give the government their withholdings, before you, let's say you have a $10 million refund coming to you. Of that $10 million, you're going to take out 21%. The government gets their taxes. They do. Even though you're a nonprofit, you're still going to give the government their due. Why? Because that's the law. You're going to give them their withholdings. Why are you going to give them their withholdings? Because you're going to give them what they are due. 21% is the going tax rate. So give them the 21%. If you do not have a tax liability, then you'll get a refund. If you do have a tax liability, they will take out your liability and the remainder of a refund they will give you. If you have a $10 million tax credit coming to you, do you do the entire $10 million? No. Tax credits are perpetually good throughout eternity. So what you do is you only do part of the tax credits. Ladies and gentlemen, if I had a $10 million tax credit, and I have tax credits in a whole lot greater of an estimate than that, what I'm doing with my tax credits is I'm going to go ahead and do part of it. Why? And I'm going to carry the others forward. I can even file quarterly as a corporation every 3 months if I choose to. That's up to me and my tax agent for filing quarterly. But again, I'm not filing everything at once. Why? Because first, I'm not greedy. Second, yes, I have it due me, but I don't have to do that just to prove that point. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to move to the next point. As I said, those of you who have businesses, because if you're dealing with household goods and consumer goods, this is what you need to understand about your household goods and consumer goods. You know, it's easier to do this. You're going to hit the control button and the letter F. That's going to pull up a search bar. And you're going to type in exempt. E-X-E-M-P-T. Okay. Please understand, under 9, UCC 9-102, Uniform Commercial Code 9-102, your household consumer goods has the meaning in the Uniform Commercial Code and shall include an automobile. Automobiles and all non-commercial conveyances shall be exempt from licensing and registration. Why? Because they are household consumer goods. Any household or consumer good is exempt from taxation, people. Why? Because they're not for profit or for gain. In business or commerce, you're not trying to make a profit with these things. You're using them to take care of your normal, daily, private business. You have a right to run a business. That's why it's called your private business, your personal business. You tell someone, please, could you mind your own business? Everybody has the right to have a business. Everybody has a right to have their own business. Please understand the technicality. I know it sounds childish. I know it sounds like you're getting technical, but you're not understanding the law. The law gives you the right to make a living. And if you have the right to make a living, you cannot be taxed on something that is yours as a right. But what you can be taxed on is if you're trying to make a profit commercially in that business. That's why we deal with not for profit or for gains. But if you are engaged in a business, truck driver, for profit bus driver, if you are carrying passengers for hire, Uber, Lyft, taxis, then you are required to pay taxes. I hope that's understood. Let's get back to the corporation and the possibilities of the corporation. We're going to go to sampletemplates.com. Ladies and gentlemen, you're just going to click on sampletemplates.com and we're going to navigate from there. Now, what I do at Sample Templates, we're going to go to business templates. I don't know why Sample Templates didn't just pull up. Sorry, I got to go back. It took me here and I didn't want all of this. So to see that it would take me, yes, that's what I want to do, sampletemplates.com. That's right, that thing, it did the same thing again. Sampletemplates.com is an actual website. I'm looking at it on my other computer, so here it is right here. We're going to go to business templates, and this is what this was actually where I needed to go. So sampletemplates.com/business-templates/free-arbitrary-templates. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a free site. There is nothing, not a single template on this site that you cannot download. Okay? There's not a single template on this site that I have seen to the day that you cannot download. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down. Now I have some things I have to explain to you. Oh, you know what? I need the business templates, and this says free obituary, so that's obituary. I need business, and I clicked on the wrong one, so let's do just business templates. See, I didn't even know it had that, but I do tell you, I do know it has this. And what I want is small, let's see, business plans. So what I need is business plans, and so business templates. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Sample small business plan. What I did was, and you see it already has the site. I haven't been here on this computer. I just went to the site for the first time yesterday, but sample-small-business-plan period.html. Well, period, which is .html. Oh, look at that. Let's see, sample small. Let me make sure I typed it in right. Yeah, I typed it in right. Oh, you know what? I think this is the point right here. Yeah, I think it is business templates, sample small business plan. So I apologize. I left category in there. Sorry that I couldn't get to this the right way, but it is sampletemplates.com/business-templates with an S -sample-small-business-plan.html. That will get you here. Now, as you see right here, it says small business plan templates. We're already on that page. We don't need to click there. What you're going to do is you're going to scroll down. Now, this is the one that says basically business plan format. Okay, what I am not looking for, and I'm not looking for a small business plan. You know what I'm looking for, ladies and gentlemen, for you? But again, I clicked on that for your benefit. We're going to go back to business templates so that I can show you what we're going to do for in search. You have a corporation. And give me a moment. We're going to do a search for, if it lets me, because I don't see the item coming up. Okay, let's go to free samples for now. What we're looking for is notice of assignment. So I'm going to do a search. Okay, so let's do notice. Alright, do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna pause you guys for a second while I find the actual link on the other computer. Thought I could do it this way and it'll be easy, but it's not gonna be easy. So give me one moment and I will have the actual location on the site for you. Okay, on the other computer, the search bar does work. So there it is right there. What we're gonna type in is GENERALIGNMENT. We're going to do general assignment, and it's going to give us about 10 or 15 general assignment forms. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is important for those of you who have 98 series numbers, or those of you who have other corporations, EIN numbers. When you have an award, when you have a pay attention, a SATPAC or a QPAC, you're going to assign the monetary portion to the corporation. Now, a lot of your SATPACs, the QPACs do have a monetary portion. The SATPACs do not. We're asking those of you who have the QPACs for you to be patient until we can do the assignment of the tax credits, because there are tax credits for the QPACs and for the SATPACs that are coming. Okay, we're going to do the assignment of the funds to the corporation. Then you're going to assign it to, according to this, you're going to follow this. You're going to read this. You're going to understand this. This is for you. This shows you exactly what you need to do an assignment. Okay, this tells you what you're trying to achieve. What is a general assignment? Let's do it. A general assignment is an alternative to bankruptcy. And some companies find it a better option compared to bankruptcy. An assignment agreement, so you have to have an agreement, a contract, involves two entities, namely the assignor, the person having the authority, and the assignee, the person receiving what the one having the authority is giving. In a general assignment, the assignor, the one having the authority, is any company that transfers its legal rights. Okay? So what's going to happen is that legal entity for which that contract is done is going to transfer its legal rights to you. You're going to transfer it to your 98 series number. Follow me. That means there are two contracts involved. You can do it all in one contract, but I would do two contracts if it were me. What do you mean? Well, when you look at the assignment agreement and you read the information here, you will see what I mean. Okay? I'm adding something that this doesn't talk about. How, because of the way the agreements are, the way the contracts are, the way the SATPACs are, you're going to do an assignment from the all caps name to you. Then you're going to do an assignment to the corporation, the 98 series number. You're going to make yourself the CEO of the corporation. You can do it as a sole proprietorship if you would like. The 98 series number is more than likely set up as a trust. Okay? You'll have to go and operate the corporation according to the way it operates. So if you want to operate it as a sole proprietorship, operate it as a sole proprietorship. Okay? Because it hasn't done any business, you can operate it as a sole proprietorship. But it's registered at, don't worry about how it's registered. It hasn't done any business. So you can operate it as a sole proprietorship. There's only one person listed on the forms with the IRS to begin with. If you want to operate it as a corporation, then you operate it as a corporation. In a moment, I'm getting ready to explain to you how you're going to do that. So just be patient. We have about 15 more minutes. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm just going to give you a general idea. In a general assignment, the assigner is a company that transfers its legal rights and assets and liabilities to a third party, known as an assignee. The assignee takes on all of the legal rights and assets of the assigner to a specific property or company, including their liabilities. And one of these liabilities is the company's debt to its creditors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're not assigning the debt, you're going to assign the contract. I want you to focus on the contract, not the debt. You're not assigning the debt, you're assigning a contract. Now, with the contract, if there are fees associated with it, if there are monetary amounts associated with it, and there is an obligation to pay by the other party, and you've sent out the notice of debt, or the assignor has sent out the notice of debt, unpaid debt, and 6 months have passed since that notice, then you can write that off, which is why you're not assigning the debt. You're assigning a contract, the SATCOMM, to your 98 series number. That's what it was created for. Then that company, because pay attention, the assigner to a non-specific property or company. Okay, you're assigning that company. The assigner is any company that transfers their legal right. So your SATCOMM, your QPAC, your, what's the other thing? The arbitration award. You're assigning that to the corporation. Now the corporation has an asset. You've already sent out notice. So now that you have the contract, the assignment contract, what you have to do, now this tells you how to put together the assignment letter. So it doesn't leave you in the dark. It walks you right through transfer rights, and it gives you sample templates. There's a general sample template. Here's another one, but you have to do one more. You also have to do what's known as a sample notice. These are general sample of assignment. So let's do the other assignment, and that's notice of assignment. That's after you do the transfer. Let me make sure that I say this correctly. You don't have to do this. It just will be beneficial for some of you if you did. So I just have to wait and go notice of assignment. So I type in notice of assignment and results for notice of assignment. We have 11 notices. So now you saw the contract or the agreement assigning those rights. Now you're going to have the notice of assignment. Okay, you just have to document the record with the notice of assignment. You'd have to dot your T's, cross your I's. Okay, that's what we're doing here. This is going to explain to you why you do a notice of assignment. Okay, and that's why I'm showing you the page you're going to go to. This is going to do your work for you. It's going to give you your education. This is going to give you your research. Okay, so you're going to do a notice of assignment. And it's going to explain to you what a notice of assignment, why you do a notice of assignment. And after you do a notice of assignment, and oh, by the way, we don't care about a notice of delegation. But if you want to do a notice of delegation, if you follow the rules and that suits what you're trying to do, by all means, you follow and you make your choice, make your decision. It's on you. There are several notices of assignment here. You download it, you fill it out, and you do your notice of assignment. If it's me and I've never done this before, I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to type in notice of assignment, or Google how to do a notice of assignment. And I'm going to read or watch a video with somebody explaining to me how to do a notice of assignment. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and minimize everything. And what I'm going to do is this is minute work, but we're going to turn off minute work for now, because I have something that I have to explain to you. And since we won't be going to any more websites, we're going to let our desktop have its freedom. Again, many of you have received 98 series numbers. Those 98 series numbers are there for your benefit. Those were in addition. You did not pay for that. You did not acquire that through payment. Why? Because we can't charge you for a 98 series number. We can only charge you for the services in acquiring that number. However, we did not. We provided that at no additional charge. At no additional charge, we did not promise that we were going to service that no additional charge. The information is available for you all on the internet or on the IRS website explaining what a 98 series number is good for. Many people are looking for the form coming from the IRS thinking that that's all they need to open up a bank account. And I chuckle just a little bit, not because of that is nowhere near what's required. And I'm about to explain what's required so all of you will know. But I chuckle because many of you have not taken and bothered to do the research because you didn't know where to start. For instance, there was a gentleman, and I'll be doing an interview with him in the future. He went to the bank and he's like, well, here's my IRS paper and I'm here to set up a bank account. And they said, well, sir, where are your articles of incorporation? What type of corporation is this? Now, he thought they were giving him a hard time. He thought that they were, just pulling his leg and trying to be difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, they weren't trying to be difficult. When you're setting up a corporation, and you're setting up a bank account, you need articles of incorporation. You need something showing that the corporation is registered in the state. Yes, you're registered with the IRS, but that's just the IRS. You need to be registered in the state. And so we told people there are several states where there are no IRS income tax, and you don't have to worry about no heavy, high state tax, like California. To do a corporation is $900 a year. But if I'm in Wyoming, I'm paying less than $100 a year. Okay, there are some states where it's not even $50 a year for a corporation, but you can do Florida, Texas, Wyoming, Washington State. They will welcome your business. You will have to pay some state tax when you do your tax filings, but for the most part, you set up your business. When you set up your business, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There are registered agents in the state. They charge very little to act as a registered agent. All they do is receive notices and services of process. So if somebody's trying to sue your business, they will serve you through the registered agent. Just that simple. Now, if you're really going to operate these corporations, what you're going to do is you're going to set up your articles of incorporation. You can go to that very same site, type in articles of incorporation, and it will give you sample articles of incorporation. And do yourself a sample article of incorporation. You can do it as a sole proprietor. That way nobody else is involved. However, myself, I want to add other people or other corporations. Why? Because if I'm distributing money, I want to have others to distribute it to if I'm doing it that way. If you're distributing tax credits, it is best that you open up a partnership and you can have corporations as your partners. So if you were to set up 5 different 98 series numbers, then you could have 5 different partners who are 5 different 98 series numbers. Pretty much with each one of you, your 98 series numbers are partners of SATCOMM at a 0.01% interest share in the organization. That means there will never be any controlling share. You'll never have the right and authority to dictate anything within the organization, but that is done for tax purposes. Okay? That is done so that we can do the transference of taxes because without there being a partnership, there can be no transferring of taxes. This is not a scheme. This is not a, what is the word for it? Scam. We're not trying to defraud. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that each one of you understand why we call you members. We've called you members from the very beginning, and it is for this purpose that you are called members because there are benefits. Okay? You remember members only and all these other organizations that have members and they talked about membership brings you benefits? Okay? That's what this is about. There are nothing else that you're entitled to. You're not entitled to free legal advice or anything like that. If you are going to operate the corporation, you're going to have to do just what this gentleman did. He went to the bank. He didn't know anything. He had tried to contact me, and I was not available to handle that conversation. A lot of people are saying that I'm not available. They can't reach me. Please understand, I'm only one man. I cannot talk to all of you. Each conversation lasts for at least 30 minutes. If I was to be on the phone for each person, then that would literally, literally be on the phone for each person 30 minutes a day to an hour a day. That would literally make it to where nothing gets done. And we can't have that because we've already had a lot of delays and we're trying to improve things. When he went to the bank, he couldn't figure out what was wrong, so he left in a little bit of disarray. But he decided not to give up, but to do research. He realized, he says, this man has not done me wrong all this time. Everything he's told me has been accurate. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe he didn't give me the wrong information. Maybe I'm missing a piece of the puzzle. Wait, let me go back and think about what the lady said. The lady said I have to be registered in the state, and I told her, well, the EIN number came from Washington, so I guess it must be Washington. So let me go and see what it takes to register in Washington. He went online. He registered his corporation online in Washington. He did it all on the computer, put in all the information, went back to the bank, gave them that registered corporation. Oh, okay. Well, this is what we needed, sir. Just that simple. Now, after he did that, they said, well, what type of business is it? Ladies and gentlemen, I just do consultations. I just consult people on their finances. So I'm a financial consultant. I would love for everybody to be financial consultants because when I have children, I'm going to teach them how to spend their money and I'm going to teach them how to navigate in this economy. So that's the easiest one if you wanted to do the type of corporation. After he gave them that information, there was just some other minor little things that he had to give them. And they set up his bank account with no problem. All he had to do was a little bit of research, ladies and gentlemen. All he had to do was listen to them. As I told him, when he first went to the bank, he was like a little kid that walked out to the middle of the freeway, not looking at any of the cars, with his back turned to the cars, and he was playing with his little toys right in the middle of the freeway with all the cars coming at him and swerving and getting out of his way. And then he decided to be so bold to turn and face the cars because he was going to play with his toys no matter what, and he wanted everybody to see him playing with his toys. So he was going to face all of that traffic in the middle of the freeway. Ladies and gentlemen, before you go out in the middle of the freeway, what you want to have is you want to have it to where you have some protection. You want to do the research. You want to know what part of the freeway to be stepping into. See, if I'm going to go to the middle of the freeway and play, the first freeway I'm going to choose is the one that's under construction, where there are no cars coming, where there's no equipment coming, where there are barricades. So I can go and play all I want. Nobody's going to bother me until they say, hey, we're going to need you to move because we're getting ready to start working in this area. Okay, and I'm going to find me another area to go play in. See, when they come to me and tell me, you can't play here no more, then I'm going to leave. I'm not going to argue with them. This is not my property. It's your property. So you don't want me playing here? I'm not going to play here no more. Okay, bye-bye. Nope, we're okay. You don't have to call nobody. You told me to leave, and since you told me to leave, that is your order for me to cease and desist. So I'm going to cease, and I'm going to desist, and I'm going to get off this freeway. And I'm going to go to another area. Not going to tell you I'm going to go to another area, but I'm just going to go to another area because when I go to another area and you come and tell me to leave that area, then I'll leave that area. And I'll keep going to other areas until I have no more areas to go to. What I'm saying to all of you in a nutshell is all of you are sitting up here in the middle of the freeway. And while you're in the middle of the freeway, you're not knowing what's coming at you. You're not knowing what you're doing. If you have a 98 series number, you can set up that corporation. You can let that number sit and sit and sit and it not benefit you. Or you can set up the corporation to where it benefits you. You set up a bank account, you funnel everything, and I said funnel, everything through that bank account. You are not sitting up here running a tax scheme. You're not doing tax evasion because your intent is to give the government their withholdings. You're always going to give the government their withholdings. The government deserves its withholdings. So you're not going to avoid that, but you're going to write everything off so that when you give government its withholdings and you write things off like you're supposed to, the government will give you back the credits and a refund that you deserve. And they will show you their appreciation for giving them their withholdings. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at that mark. I just want to let you know that that gentleman was able to set up his account, and he is very pleased. He was very satisfied after he figured out what he needed to do to provide them. And when he did it, everything went like clockwork. It will do the same for you. We'll be doing videos in the future for you SAT packers and Q packers and arbitrationists so that you'll know what else you can do with your items. The next set of videos will talk about the benefits of the trust and the contract and the agreement and the reason for the birth certificate and the registering in the state and the benefits and the bonds and all the other items that have been associated with those packs, be it the SAT pack or the Q pack. And then we'll have videos talking about the future packs that we'll be putting together and why it has taken, well, some people think long, but it hasn't taken a long time. All stocks and all bonds need to reach a maturity. Even a mortgage note has a 30-year maturity on it. We've only had a 3.5-year maturity, and we won't be going much more beyond that. So just please keep that in mind. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for your time, and I'm grateful to be able to have the opportunity of bringing forth this, the first in a series of videos explaining the SAT packs, the Q packs, and the other taxable events for which someone can utilize to write off the amount on their taxes when done the appropriate way and receive the benefits. By the way, the gentleman also went and talked with his tax agent. After doing all of these things, the tax agent is receiving his documents and not having any issues because he did the notice of assignment and the contract. He hadn't done the contract he wasn't aware, so he's having to put that contract in writing because it was already done. He just hadn't had it in writing. And so now he's making sure that he commits it to writing so that there's actual documentation as opposed to the procedural documentation. Well, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to review this. And we do ask that you visit us again. The telephone number for SATCOMM will be available in our very near future, but the comment section under that or the question section under that will be limited to 3 minutes at a time. Why? Because our staff is really busy and we are very short staffed because we're trying to provide the best service possible. We are vetting out the members that we bring in, and so it will be a moment before we can bring other members in. Thank you all once again. Please have a very good day. And those of us here at SATCOMM, thank you for your time and thank you for the opportunity of servicing your needs. Goodbye.